Hopefully that gets cleaned up this year. But I want to transition to the new head coach. So obviously Jason Garrett is out as the head coach of Dallas. I don't think Jason Garrett is a terrible head coach. Is he the guy that's going to lead you to Super Bowl wins and big time playoff wins? I just don't see it. I think you way overstayed his due in Dallas. Like you said, you tend to agree. So Mike McCarthy's in as the head coach. Obviously won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers about a decade ago. I think that he is able to command a locker room pretty well. He's a grown up. I think that, excuse me, he's pretty well respected in most locker rooms and among NFL circles. And I think that he's going to be able to have some success in Dallas. And honestly, it was kind of a dull year for head coach hirings this year. I felt that Dallas got one of the best hires. I really was high on Ron Rivera. I think the Redskins got a pretty good hire there. But again, you know, it was kind of a risk to go for maybe a Lincoln Riley or an Urban Meyer. I don't even know if they were going to take the job anyway. But so I think that Dallas got a pretty good hire right there. What are your expectations for Mike McCarthy? What do you think he's going to bring to Dallas? Is he a true upgrade over Jason Garrett? And what are you looking forward to? The only pushback I would have with Mike McCarthy is, can he work with this quarterback that you have right now? I'm not trying to bash Dak Prescott, but again, Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Packers fan, so I got a pretty good glimpse of Mike McCarthy. I think that he's a solid coach, but at times I do think that Aaron Rodgers kind of bailed him out a little bit more. And anytime you got Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, it makes things a lot easier for your team. You know, Aaron Rodgers would sometimes just put the team on his back, and, you know, the Packers could do no wrong. Now, you know, I think Dak's a fine quarterback. He's above average, but Aaron Rodgers at his peak was a top 3 quarterback in football, one of the best in the game. I mean, arguably the best in the game. He won 2 MVPs. So, do you think that Mike McCarthy can make that transition to elevating Dak and things of that nature? What are your thoughts?
So about the Mike McCarthy hire, I think really any hire, like, I don't want to sound like, you know, like we were desperate for a new head coach, but I feel like any hire Dallas Cowboys would have been excited for, just because Jason Garrett kept us at mediocrity for about 10 years, and then this year just set it off, like we were done. So really any hire would got us excited, but Mike McCarthy was a great hire just because look at our team, we're trying to win now, and he's won before, and you know, like you said, we don't want Urban Meyer or Lincoln Riley, a new head coach. A new head coach to the NFL, trying to wet his feet. You know what I'm saying? So he was definitely the best coach out there as far as experience goes, and as far as coaching in the NFL goes. And he's a great offensive mind. And working with Aaron Rodgers, I think, you know, not only helps him with Dak Prescott, but it gives him a lot of experience of what a great quarterback needs to look like. And Dak Prescott is a hard worker. So he's gonna do what he has to do. He's gonna listen to Mike McCarthy and take his advice. And he's been in this league for this is gonna be his 4th year. So they're gonna give each other tips. He's been working with one of the great QB coaches out there who's worked with Tom Brady. I forgot his name, but he's worked with Tom Brady and some of those guys. And so you know, I don't feel like Dak has reached his peak. And I think he's far from it. And I think Mike McCarthy is going to help him get there, just because he did coach Aaron Rodgers. And it's not like he got there when Aaron Rodgers was in his prime. He helped Aaron Rodgers get there. So I think Mike McCarthy is the guy that's going to get us some wins, and he's going to get us to that next level where we've been wanting to be, where we need to be.
Yeah, to piggyback on your point, I think that Mike McCarthy will, to a certain degree, work in Dallas. One thing I will say is that McCarthy kind of talked about how Green Bay never went out and spent free agents, and that's one of the reasons why he thinks that his offense never really evolved and why he wasn't able to do certain things that he wanted, was just because Green Bay never really got the free agents that he wanted. Now, personally, I kind of tend to agree. As a Packers fan, I've been frustrated the last couple of years. You know, we haven't really spent a whole lot of money in free agency. I do think that the front office is not as well run in Green Bay as a lot of people give them credit for. So I think that Mike McCarthy has some issues to deal with. You know, I think that Dak is much more of a naturally born leader than Aaron Rodgers. Definitely not a better quarterback, you know, at Aaron Rodgers' peak. But again, I do think that Dak Prescott is the type of quarterback that McCarthy will, you know, like coaching. And I do think that can potentially be the right fit. It will come down to if Mike McCarthy can get the best out of Dak Prescott and if he can elevate the team overall. And I'm interested to see if he's going to run the ball, you know, a lot more, because in Green Bay, we had Aaron Jones, you know, the year where Mike McCarthy got fired, and we didn't really use him, you know, and Matt LaFleur comes in, he actually uses Aaron Jones. So I'm interested to see if Mike McCarthy's going to, utilize Zeke. Is it going to be a Zeke friendly offense? Is it going to be a Dak friendly offense? We shall see. But I do like the hire. I do think that I'm still waiting to see about it just because I want to see McCarthy without Aaron Rodgers. But again, I thought it was a solid hire. All right, let's get to some free agents. Do you agree with that though?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, Mike McCarthy, he does have some questions just because, there's a reason he wasn't in football for a year. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what he does. I like the hire though, and I think he's gonna do great. I think he's gonna do great.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.